Hello everyone, I'm the writer and welcome back! Another review video! Honestly, I didn't think I would do anything related to Star Wars, but these are fun, entertaining animated TV shows. So we've got story, style, the good, and the bad for each series. So we're focusing on the Bad Batch, Rebels, and Clone Wars. Just a little bit of a spoiler warning, I will get into some topics of spoiler territory, but then again, most of these shows have been out for about 8 years, so you've got time to watch it. And also, if you clicked on the video, that means you know what these are. Just being aware. Anyway, now let's begin. Star Wars The Clone Wars, a beloved series with an actually good ending. If you remember watching the show on a Friday night on Cartoon Network, you know the feeling of being excited to see the new episode. Good times. Now, I was so tense when I heard Disney was going to give us the final season, but it was actually really good. I love how terrible Order 66 is, and you see it from so many angles in this one. Storytelling. So this is a bit of a different from your normal series, but this has different character arcs to explore, and all other character arcs are actually well written. I think my favorites are the Blue Shadow Virus, the family of Force Wielders, Ahsoka's final arc in the season finale, Ventress's arc, Obi-Wan and his girlfriend's arc, Rex's arc. There are a ton of other arcs that I'm not mentioning or just forgetting because there's so many. Honestly, I think the arc that stands out the most to me is the Padawan Hunt, where we see how far Ahsoka's come in her training with Anakin. A huge part of the series is the characterization of the clone troopers, which is something we were never got at the movies at all. The clones are just as human as everyone else. The storytelling gradually improves throughout the course of the series. You can see this too with the animation as well. There are many arcs for a person to enjoy. You really only have to watch the arcs in the same order and watch season 6 and 7 in that order. The storytelling is fantastic and improves greatly. Also, this tackles both the Jedi and clone troopers, which is a good idea. You can start this series before choosing either Rebels or the Bad Batch, which is good because they either focus on the Jedi or the clone troopers. Style. The animation isn't the greatest in the beginning, but as you watch the series, it gets way better. The last season definitely shows how far this series has come. They actually used motion capture for Ahsoka's fight against Darth Maul. I personally love the style of the last season more than the previous ones, but at around the time of 2012, this was pretty good for a series. I love how different each planet looks and how some of the character models look well. Though sometimes they do look a little weird. Again, the last season definitely shows how far the series has come. The good. The many character arcs and animation styles really make this series very lovable. Characterizing the clone troopers and giving depth to Anakin before he becomes Darth Vader is very well done. This series also introduced a ton of fan-favorite characters, from Ahsoka to Barriss, Rex, Cody, the Bad Batch, and many more that I know I'm missing on this list. Honestly, I think the best part about the show is expressing how everyone in this series has feelings and emotions, as well as a will to live. That's not easy to tackle, and this show does a wonderful job of handling it. The bad. I think the only drawback in this series is that the weird airing dates, along with the fact that they just stopped before the final season. I also think the show gets away with more of the violent themes than we realized when we were kids, or at least being the age of 10 to 13 for me when I watched this. From Ventress's backstory to what Barriss did to Ahsoka and the whole escaping from the dangerous, destructive planet where a lot of their friends died at. I miss those days where shows actually told important stories and themes and lessons behind it. Other than that, not much really wrong with this series. It was really well done. Rebels. Honestly, I was kind of annoyed with this series for a bit. I thought it would be kind of boring compared to Clone Wars, but this turned out to be something way different than I thought. It is an interesting found family dynamic with the insanity of dealing with the Empire. I actually enjoyed how close they are as a family, as well as adding in fan favorites from the Clone Wars. Style. Okay, I am aware this isn't the same animation style as the Clone Wars, but I do not enjoy Ezra's second design. He looks so weird to me. Everyone else is fine, but he just looks so odd. Why does he have to look like that? Some of the designs I do enjoy. I like Sabine and her hair, Hera and her storyline with her family, and Kanan. Oof, I always think it's Kanan. They were so happy together. I have to be honest, I didn't know Kanan died until I saw it. I did not see that coming at all. The style overall is okay. Nothing as amazing as the Clone Wars, but it still has some of the charm I love from it. Storytelling. I will admit, this does start off slow, but afterwards I was hooked. I love how this story does lead up to A New Hope and Rogue One, but it also has ties to The Mandalorian. I think my favorite is the Twilight of the Apprentice, where Ahsoka, Ezra, and Kanan go to the Sith base and fight Darth Maul and Vader. It just breaks my heart seeing Ahsoka hurt into what Anakin's become. And I do love the other plot lines they did with each character to show how far they've come. Although some hit harder and some don't, like Sabine trying to get the Darksaber to Kanan's death, I don't know how well that was done. I think they could have paced it much better. The good. There was a lot of love for the creators gave this. More than the fan base gives it credit for. When I first was watching this, all I heard was this show was just terrible. But I'm not entirely sure. This isn't bad. It brought back fan favorites and then revived Ahsoka and Rex, which are characters I honestly didn't think I would ever see again. They even got the original voice actors along with the voice actor from Anakin from the Clone Wars. My gosh, they even had James Earl Jones to do Darth Vader. I personally enjoyed what they did with this, and it was opening up to a new hope. The bad. I think the main reason a lot of fans dislike this one is because it doesn't feel like a traditional Star Wars storyline. Some of it is boring and has a few issues. Ezra is annoying at times, but he does mellow out towards the end. I didn't enjoy Chopper as much as you would think. He's just R2-D2 but more insane. Kanan, Sabine, and Hera are probably the best parts of the show, along with Ahsoka and Rex appearing as well, which I don't believe count. It is fun to have old characters appear for a bit, but they shouldn't take over. If this show is supposed to be something completely different, it shouldn't depend on previous characters to bolster it to be better. Also, you mean to tell me Darth Maul went through all that just to die in one hit? Seriously? Kind of an underwhelming end to a character who had such a long arc that spanned the prequels to now. Bad Batch. Okay, I just finished this about like 5 hours ago, but it's a story about clone troopers and it's interesting. Again, we never had the mainline movies explore the scenario at all. Instead, we get a series, which I think is a good idea. After all, not everyone enjoys the clones as others do. This is a perfect way to show this. Actually, this show is very similar to The Mandalorian, and that's a good thing. This is a TV series about a side story that either you enjoyed or you didn't and want to see what happens next. Storytelling is a simple and short story. It also explores the wide range of the universe. Let's face it, Star Wars is huge. There is so much of it. The show displays a lot of the side characters who have played a huge role in the universe, or will, from Kanan to Hera and even Rex making an appearance. That being said, the plot is basically The Mandalorian, but they're not giving the kid to someone else. They're trying to protect her and just get by in a world where the stormtroopers were going to be seen as enemies, and with the Empire now taking over. It is actually very scary to see, and that's a good thing. Being the Empire is what strikes fear into everyone and forced people to take a stand and rise up against it. And we finally get to see why people did that. Style. This style is actually very nice. These graphics are beautiful and everyone looks wonderful in it. It is basically Clone Wars Season 7 graphics, which I'm grateful they used. The style of animation is something I hope doesn't die. It is well done and I really love how well the lighting looks. Also, I love how vibrant each member is of the Bad Batch. Each one is unique and has a value to the team, and even makes sure Omega can handle herself or try to. I think that's good. Actually, this reminds me of Bennett from Genshin Impact and how he grew up with many different dads who each taught him something to do. The bad. I think this isn't enjoyed as much by others is because we don't really see much of the Jedi in this. That is the one main reason anyone watches Star Wars. The Jedi are all dead or trying to escape from being killed. I also think Omega's kind of annoying in the beginning, but she does mellow out towards the end. She almost reminds me of Iris Watson from The Great Ace Attorney in that sense of being a kid genius and trying to help out those you love. Wrecker is kind of annoying and Hunter's too much of a leader in the spotlight, but this isn't too bad. Towards the end, they try to balance this out and even show how Echo, Tech, and Wrecker can handle themselves and even rescue Hunter, not Wrecker. Again, I think the lack of the Jedi annoys the people and why some do not enjoy this as much as others do. Good. It is short. It doesn't need to be long. I also enjoyed that it doesn't have a happy ending. I was hoping Crosshair wouldn't come back with them like that. But I was also hoping they would have some kind of conversation to lead to a resolution. And that's exactly what happened. We also saw the destruction of Kamino and how powerful the Empire is. And it's the end of the old Star Wars era. This shows really the change in rule from the Republic to the Empire. We see how it's affecting everyone as well. That's a good portrayal of it. We did get to see that in Revenge of the Sith, but we didn't see how it affected everyone else outside of the movies. This is what we saw and that's good, because I've always wanted to know what this looks like. We also see fan favorite characters return and see their view of the matter at hand, with Hera and Kanan, for example. Another thing I enjoyed about this more than I thought I would, and why I think this is good, is that it's not too... Well, we see the Empire. We do see the Empire start to form, and that's a good thing. I was just kind of curious, like, why we didn't get to see more of like the Empire's destruction, but then I realized they destroyed Kamino, and that's definitely when we see the Empire's full power, which leads people to rebel and start rising up again. So what's to come next? At this point, I think I've reached a dry spell. I know Marvel What If is happening, but after that, I just don't know. If anyone wants me to, I could do a review on Avatar The Last Airbender, Voltron Legacy Defender, or Ninjago, since those shows are pretty much done at the moment. Ninjago is still going on to season 15. Anything can happen at this point. I'm not leaving Ninjago until the end of this series happens. I really enjoy it, and it deserves more credit than it is given for a LEGO show. I also am watching Madoka Magica Record, but that has 3 seasons and we are just starting on season 2. So we will see if any of you want me to give a review video on these wonderful shows. Conclusion: Clone Wars is 5 out of 5 for just giving us so much content to enjoy and opening up the universe to the fans. It shows us they can literally take any path in the universe and turn it into a good story, as well as introducing characters in a lovable manner such as Ahsoka and Rex. Rebels is 4 out of 5. It is still a little weird with the animation choice for this one, and some of the storylines are a bit boring and annoying, but they did everything they could to make this the best show they could. Bad Batch is 5 out of 5. I'm honestly surprised with how much I enjoyed this, and I'm also surprised with how well this was handled. I like how it ended too. It wasn't happy, but it wasn't sad either. Well, that's all the time for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye!